Hello and welcome to another fly tying session with your host Scott. In this session we're going to be tying a relatively famous wet fly known as the Peter Ross. I've only tied one before and it went quite well, so I thought we'd do it on camera. That's what we're going for, something like that. And to do it we're going to need a few ingredients. So for the tail we're going to need some golden pheasant tippet. For the body, or part of the body, the front half of the body, we're going to need some red dubbing of some description. The actual pattern calls for wool. I'm using rabbit fur dyed red. We're going to need some tinsel for the rear half of the body. I'm using a size 14 or 14 gauge, 1/32 of an inch uni mylar tinsel. It's gold on one side and silver on the other. For the rib we're going to need a silver wire. This is a Vineyard one, and this is the finest one that you can get. For the thread we're going to need a black thread, and this one's by Uni in 8/0. For the hackle we're going to need a black cock saddle. That's an Indian one. And then finally for the wing we're going to need some teal flank. This is some that was harvested this winter on the local shoot. And yeah, we're all ready to go. So we're going to come in at the eye and bed the hook. Now as wet flies go, this is a relatively easy one because the wing is quite easy to tie. To get the wing right, however, is quite difficult. The hardest part about this one is the body's in two halves. But that's literally the only hard bit about it, really. Okay, so we've bedded the hook. We're going to tie in the tail now. So we need a fairly sizable bunch of this. What I normally do is I hold it between finger and thumb, like so, and then snip off the required amount, and then pull it away like so, and then come in and grab it like that, and it should all be in line then. Now the tail's completely up to the operator really in length. I've started preferring a fairly short tail on mine, and on this particular bunch of feathers it's just beyond the black bar, the second black bar on the feather. So once that's in, excuse me, you're going to have to tie in the wire. And then drop the wire in. Because it's a tinsel body, you've got to try and keep everything even. So rather than just tying it in at the tip, tie it in the whole length of the shank of the hook, and that helps you keep an even body. And you want to trim off the excess. The length of the body really, leaving a head length. Just bear with me a moment. It's quite a warm night tonight, so I've got the skylights open and you can probably hear the birds. I'm hoping you can hear the birds because they're in fine voice tonight. And then we're going to tidy up. All the way down to a head length, and then we're going to come back about halfway up the shank, and we're going to tie in our tinsel. Now the best thing to do with this tinsel is to tie it in gold side up, so that when you turn it to start turning it around the shank, it goes the right way up. So then we're going to run it down to the bend and back again. You want touching turns, but not overlapping turns. You may also notice something a bit different with the vice. I've took the paint off it because it was annoying me. It chipped and it looked rubbish on camera, so I've just took the lot off. You've only got to catch it with a hook point and it comes off. So there we are. That's the tinsel body tied in. And trim away. Tidy up a little bit, you don't need to do much. You don't need too bulky, and then you're going to get your dubbing. And start dubbing the second half of the body. Now I'm sure there's lots of different variations. This is obviously the original one. I like to stick to the original recipe where I can. But you could probably do hot orange, chartreuse, you name it, you could probably do it with this pattern for the second half of the body. And that'll probably do it. That'll leave me enough room to get the hackle in. And then you want a rib over the tinsel and over the dubbing. And then tie that in. Break away. Then grab yourself an appropriate sized feather. I've been saying that a lot in my videos lately, but the best way to find out if it is the right size, I will show you now. So if you grab a feather off your cape, if you pull the barbs back, they should reach the point of the hook from the eye. And that's normally about right. It's normally a good sign that you've got it right. So then to prepare the feather, you just strip off the fluff and tie it in at the head. And trim away the excess. And then get your hackle pliers. You can use whichever hackle pliers you've got. I like to use these ones. These are made by Stonfo. And then wind your hackle. I normally do 3 turns. And then tie it in. Once you've got the first turn in, you can pull it 90 degrees away from the direction of tying, and that should keep it fairly neat at the eye. You're still going to get a few going forward, but that's okay. Trim away. And you want to brush them back and create your foundation for the wing. You're not forming the head just yet, but you want enough room to get your wing in, which is normally the same size as the head. There we are. And then you're going to grab a nicely marked piece of a single teal feather. That's a nice one there. We'll use that one. Strip away a sizable bunch. And offer it up to the hook. Now I normally have it so that it's just shorter than the tail. That's how it looks in the book anyway. That's what I'm trying to copy. I will show you the book before we sign off. And it's the same as you use your wet fly wing. You want to do a pinched. Hang on. Let's try that again. No, pinched isn't going to work, so just chuck a loose turn in. There we go. Couple to lock it in. Have a quick look at it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Couple more. Trim away the excess. And then start forming your head. You go to the eye and work your way back. Just going through those cut ends of the feather. If you've missed a bit, go back. There you go, that's much better than my first one, if I may say so. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I missed a bit there. Oh. There we go, that's better. And I'm going to come in a whip finish. Okay, trim away, and then before I sign off, I won't varnish the head. I'll show you the picture. This is what we was going for. That doesn't look too bad. It's quite close. Dare I say it, my head is quite slightly better than the author's, even without varnish. And then varnish the finish. You might need a couple of coats to get that really nice shiny head. But if you're not that bothered about it, one coat will be enough to hold it and you can just go fishing. But I'm tying these for a series of displays. My sister's at the game fair this year. The main one, I think it's at Ragley Hall. And her stall will be named Finn Harrington, that's the name of her business, and she does dog beds for sporting dogs and lots of other accessories as well. Nameless, honestly, there's loads of things: cushions, beds, blankets, and she's offered to offer these for sale for me as well. So if you're at the game fair, look out for Finn Harrington, and you'll see my my framed fly sets there. That was the trout one. I've also done a salmon one as well. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.